It reminds me of the Tao Te Ching. He must have been influenced by some Taoism there. That's awesome. It's me again. Okay, so this July's theme is Rolling in the Deep. By honoring those who have come before us, our ancestors in blood, spirit, and wisdom, we tap into a deep reservoir of resilience, creativity, and love. Their journeys remind us that growth is always possible, even in the most challenging conditions. And their legacy inspires us to live more fully, freely, and connected to all that is. This month, we open ourselves up to deeper listening, greater compassion, and a more expansive understanding of what it means to live in alignment with the One, cultivating a life rooted in unity, authenticity, and conscious evolution. So now let's welcome Rev Steph up to the stage to talk. Go deep. Hi guys, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to be here with you today. So nice to see you all. I'm just gonna rearrange everything again. So go deep. I really love that reading, Glenda. Thank you for that. It's about going deep. Absolutely. And this month's theme, I'm going off topic now. This month's theme is talking about the ancestors, and their journeys remind us of what's possible, right? Their legacy inspires more fully, freely, and connected. Our ancestors did that. So going deep for me is recognizing that we are on treaty land right now. And when they talk about my ancestors, my first relative, 12 great-grandfathers ago, landed in what is now Canada in 1634. 1634. The Boulangers. And one man, Joseph Boulanger, he was an architect, and that's why he was brought over on the first 3 ships from France that came to this, what is now called Canada. And then they had one baby. And that one baby had 14 babies. And that's how colonization is done. You send one, and they populate. And I am here now because of 12 generations of great-grandfathers. And I think about the struggle that they didn't have houses when they landed. You know that, right? There was no electricity yet. Not just here, but yet. And it's just fascinating to me because out of those 14 babies, only 7 of them made it. So really, that's an incredible journey of sacrifice for what they believe is a better life. They've sacrificed for better lives, and that's what we get to do in this life. We have sacrificed for a better life by going deep and diving deep. This is a deep talk, you guys. I read these notes and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this talk. But this is the talk I love to do. Because everyone sees the golden retriever that dances around with glitter and joy beans all the time. But this is the work that I have done to live a better life. I would not be here if I wasn't willing to sacrifice my depression. I wouldn't be here right now if I wasn't willing to sacrifice my anxiety disorder. We sacrifice all the time. We receive and we let things go. So are we sacrificing our joy, or are we sacrificing that which no longer serves us so that we can have more joy, so that we can have more love, so that we can have more abundance, so that we can have a better life? So, the affirmation is, I embrace the depths of my soul, knowing I contain multitudes. I do that. I embrace the depths of my soul. Have you embraced your soul? Have you embraced the light that is inside of you? Have you embraced the knowingness that you are divine possibility unfolding brilliantly in perfect right order? There's nothing you are doing right now that is out of order. You are perfect exactly as you are. We need to go deep so that we can discover that for ourselves and shed away all the limiting beliefs of lack and limitation and let that go. We get to talk about fish again now. Alexis Combs, she wrote in Undrowned, a Black feminist lessons from marine mammals. It's been a brilliant journey this month through her writing. And so she wrote, there is a depth of ocean between 300 and 400 meters deep that is so thick with life that in World War II, sonar operators thought it was the bottom of the ocean. But it was not the bottom. It was a bajillion tiny swim bladders reflecting their sonar back to them. What is a swim bladder? Don't worry, she tells us. It's an air-filled organ that fish have, which allows them to ballast or maintain their depth. And what about us? How do we stay deep when distractions distract us, like racists being racist for racist reasons? How do you keep your swim bladder level so you don't float out of school formation? How do we know the depth at which life is abundant enough to feed us and our families and our communities all at once? What I know is that I am proud of you for the depth of work you are doing, for the layers you are uncovering, for the changes you made when you learned that what you thought was rock bottom was just a reflection of sound you were making called need. How diligent your breath for staying deep. And all the noise that bounces off our lives, how powerful we are when we're together. We could change the entire story with what we know. That this is not the bottom, this is life. This is not the floor, this is not even a wall, this is our air. This is our air. So what is she talking about? First off, let's just recognize she's so proud of us, right? I watch these beautiful comedians, and I talked about them before on Smosh, and they have their members, their subscribers, tell them how they want to close off the episode every week, and so they take suggestions. And this past week, the suggestion was, it's going to make me cry. They wanted the actors, the beautiful personalities of the Smosh characters, to tell them they were proud of them. They want complete strangers to tell them they're proud of them. Why? Because they're not getting that in their own life. They haven't heard someone say, wow, you did such a great job. I'm proud of you for your resiliency, your tenacity, your bold, audacious sense to keep going. I'm so proud of you for deep diving and exploring the crevices of your mind. I'm so proud of you for being you. Showing up authentic and real and raw, no matter what other people think of you. I'm so proud of you. That's just a little taste of how I talk to myself in the mirror in the mornings. Right? What I see here is that when there's war, when there's struggle, when there's suffering, when there's sacrifices being made on behalf of a greater whole, we have something inside of us that is as simple as our breath to change and shift and evolve and grow. And that we get to do that because we all have air inside of us. And when we are together, we are stronger. When we are together, we are more powerful. When we are together, we are grace, unfolding brilliantly. How powerful are we? I think about, there's a lot of warlike things going on in the world right now. I remember the brave soul that went to Tiananmen Square? How do you say that word? Tiananmen Square, right? Walked right up to a soldier and put a flower. Put a flower. We will not get anywhere further than war if we are not going to bring peace with us everywhere we go. Even in our own minds. The war that's happening in our own minds. Do I want to wear the pink socks or the blue socks today? Sometimes that's a struggle for people who are on the spectrum. Right? I have ADHD. I'm lucky I put socks on. But my body prefers socks because my toes hate shoes. You learn a lot of strange things about me, don't you? Yeah. Ernest Holmes taught that we are each a part of one universal mind, that we have vast depths within us. Vast depths within us. Jean Houston said, even in the introduction to the science of mind, she talks about Ernest Holmes was one of the first to direct us to what is to be found in the vast ecology of inner space. Pigs in space. Our inner space. In his scope of understanding and application, he anticipated and prepared the field for the revolution in mind and brain research that was to come, which has affected Joe Dispenza. Ernest Holmes can be found in the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's a neuroscientist and working with people in the same way we are. The patterns of our emerging sacred psychology are offered in the knowing that as we go within, we can access the depth structures of our own being and build bridges to the great archetypal realm wherein lie the dynamic designs that form and reform our reality. The science of mind shows us how to be active and creative citizens in a universe and innerverse richer than all previous imaginations. Ernest Holmes wrote that no human has ever plumbed the depths of either the conscious or the subjective life. In both directions, we reach out to infinity. And since we cannot encompass infinity, we shall always be expanding and always enlarging our capacity to know and to experience. That is what going deep is. It's going deep to experience the divine that was planted in you before the beginning of time. We are stardust in water in this physical form. But in our soul, in our heart, in our consciousness, in our energy, we are the source of life itself. Ralph Waldo Emerson, this one's famous. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Do we know that? Do we receive that? Do we accept that? I know this going deep is a challenging part of our conscious work. And so we have sperm whales to talk about to help us understand going deep. And sperm whales as a model. Alexis Rums, she uses sperm whales as a metaphor for deep diving. Now, sperm whales are one of the largest and last toothed whales. They can dive almost 2 miles below the surface of the ocean and hold their breath up to 90 minutes. Now, this is an interesting fact. Why they're called a sperm whale is because they have a waxy substance that comes out that acts as a sonar. So they know where their predators are, they know where their food is, they know how the temperature is. It's like Bluetooth for them, right? That's fascinating. And so they can sense through using that to know where to go, who to hang out with. And they are one of the whales that it's a very tribal animal. They can communicate over great distances, and they are found everywhere there's an ocean. They are also endangered and on the brink of extinction because they are used for beautification products. And that's some deep work that we still, as human beings, need to look at. Why are things going extinct? Like spiritual communities. In the last 4 years, over 100 churches, centers, and communities have closed their doors. We're forgetting how to be in community and why we're here. And the reason we are forgetting is because we're just hanging out at the surface where the sun's shining and all the little minnows are out there just checking on the weather and all of the good stuff. But we get to go deeper than that. So here's what we can learn from sperm whales in our journey to the depth of us, the journey to the core of us. The first one is breathe. Take a deep breath. Remember that breath is important. 90% of one breath is a sperm whale's breath. One breath can take in 90% of its necessary air to dive deep. And we use breath and breathing as a technique to meditate, to center ourselves, to get grounded, to enter into conversations that are difficult and challenging. But going deep sometimes means getting uncomfortable. And I know, I hate getting uncomfortable. I do. But however deep you are breathing, breathe deeper, Alexis reminds us. However deep you are breathing, breathe deeper. Pay attention to how you breathe. When you get stressed, our breathing tends to become shallow. Slow down. Breathe deep. Number 2, take responsibility. Take in responsibility. The sperm whale reminds us, take responsibility for our forehead. That's what's here in a chakra sense, a third eye, right? So in a sperm whale, they project a substance to help them know where they are, know information, and all of that good stuff. It protects them and it supports them. We have a responsibility. How aware are we of what goes on in our head? What goes on in our internal voices all the time? I know, like, coming here on a Sunday, it's amazing. We get charged up and we get inspired and we go, and then by Wednesday, I need to listen to some more affirmations. I need to plug in again. Right? The voice inside my head has a lot to say. Is it just me? Am I the only one who has a voice inside the head that says a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff? We get to consciously clean out and clear out those things by taking responsibility for our divine sight. For knowing who we are, taking responsibility to know who we are. What are the messages we're giving ourselves? And are they ones we want to change? Or are they ones we want to write down on a piece of paper and put up on a bulletin board and come back to it all the time for years? We have all of that inside of us. Lesson number 3, the sperm whale is hush. The sperm whale can surface without making a ripple. Isn't that interesting? One of the largest mammals on this planet can approach without making a ripple. They save their energy for the deep diving. They don't have to come up and make a big splash. They use all of their energy to dive deep where they know they belong. So how do we manage our energy? How do we give ourselves away to the activities and the people who deplete rather than fill us up? We get quiet. We get to dive deep into our inner resources and examine our priorities for ourselves and as a community. I want you to picture a tree that's so large and radiant. The tree of life, let's say. This beautiful, big, massive tree. Now, we know that through science and research and all of that, we know that the tree that has expanded this way outwardly equally matches the depths of its roots so that it can stand firm and stay alive. So what happens if a tree grows up but not down? It falls over. Thank you. If we spend all of our energy at the surface, we will never survive a deep dive. For me, before I was willing to sacrifice my story, before I was willing to sacrifice my depression, my anxiety, my stress, my homelessness, before I was willing to sacrifice all of that, I had to be willing to take a first step, to be willing to dive deep, to grow inwards and not just outwards. Our next lesson is to be flexible. That's literally a treatment that I do nowadays. Let's see if I can make something crack. Right? To be flexible. A sperm whale dives deep into the ocean where the pressure is great. The pressure in the ocean is great. The depth of the ocean, there is pressure. So we get to be flexible. Crumbs writes, deep in the ocean there is a lot of pressure. It will press on your chest and your lungs will collapse. You call it heartbreak. It is not. It is how what made you embraces you. Being flexible is about being kind with yourself in the midst of change. Being kind to yourself, self-love, self-care, self-divination. Accepting yourself as you go deep, embracing your capacity to go deep, embracing your divine nature faithfully. Tammy Hughes, she said, take care of what is in your midst with great love. Don't wait for the next thing to come as though it will hold more grace. Tend to the work that you've already been given. Tend to the work you've already been given. This is our unique, individualized work that we get to share as a community, grow together. Flexibility is helpful for that. Then we get to be specific in our actions. Crumbs writes, let your practice facilitate depth. It will be there when you need it. Let your practice facilitate your depth. This tells us that practice is important. Practice makes progress. It's not about practice makes perfect. It's practice makes progress. You were already born perfect. You're practicing getting to where you want to go. So be specific. Let your practice facilitate your depth. For the last 8 years, 5 days a week, I have been doing a live spiritual practice on multiple platforms, and practice makes progress. Saying we want something different and not making any changes is not going to get us where we want to go. Be specific in what it is we want to do. Spiritual practice is the foundation of this teaching. It's the foundation of the work that we do. It's how we go deep. And we listen. We listen to the depth of us. We listen to those voices when we're silent, when we're quiet, when we're listening deeply. We listen to that infinite source of spirit that is expressing its wisdom through the silence, through our practice. We get to do this work. This is joy. We get to fall down and get back up. We get to scrape our knee and clean ourselves off. We get to do this hard work. This is ours to do because we are here alive, breathing. And don't get me wrong, if your life looks absolute perfect, you have no stress, you have no anxiety, you have no more growth to do, you are nailing it in every quadrant of your life, I applaud you. I'm so proud of you. Come please do a talk so that we can all learn from you, us who are still doing and practicing. Because there is something deeper calling us, or we wouldn't be here. There's something deeper to us. Alexis, she wrote, there's something that I need, but I have to go so deep to find it. There's something I have to give, but I have to give it on my own time. There is something I'm going to tell you, but first I have to make a language for myself. Will you wait? There is something I'm going to tell you. Just let me open my mouth. When I read that, it blew my mind. That's how I feel daily. There's something that I need, but I have to go deep to find it. If I don't have it yet, it's somewhere deep within me, because that's where everything is, deep within me. There's something I have to give, but I need to give it on my own time and in my own way, as my authentic and true self. I have tried another way, and it almost killed me. Authenticity and your real, true self is who I want to meet when I'm talking to you. There's something I'm going to tell you, but I first have to make a language for myself to understand. Understand who I am, understand what I'm doing here. And when I say I mean the radiant I am. The divine within me that is here on a purpose, in the right perfect place, in the right perfect time. And when I say I'm talking about the I that lives in you. Worthy, valuable, deserving. You deserve to know who you are in a language that you can understand. And so, that was a really long talk about going deep. I talk like this all the time at home, so thanks for listening. I'm going to leave you with this beautiful quote by Dr. Ernest Holmes, written in the 1930s in this book called This Thing Called You. He said, "We must learn to live by inspiration." That means that we should let the spiritual depths of our being flow through our conversation and into our acts. Living by inspiration does not mean living chaotically. Our whole purpose is to make the intellect an instrument of the Spirit. We must become artists in living. To live by inspiration means to sense the divine touch in everything, to enter into the spirit of things, to enter into the joy of living. Enter into the joy of living. So, let's go deep. I actually have a sign on my wall. I'm going to get funny again right now. I have a sign on my wall that says, "Go deeper, go home." So this is my life's purpose. This talk that I just did is my life's purpose. Going deep, helping other people. Go deep. Discover the divinity inside of them. That's my purpose. I do it here into a microphone because you let me. And I do it every day of my life. I make sure my mind is going deep every day. And I know there's people in this room who are doing that same, we live the same purpose. I know it. Absolutely know it. Okay, everybody take a deep breath. That was a lot. I've got all these faces at me right now. So let's just take a deep breath. And so here's what I know. The divine, the wholeness, the inspiration of divinity that is expressing itself as ebbs and flows and sacred yeses and sacred no's. The divine and the holy, the precious and the good. It's right here and right now. Divine mind is creating itself through unique and unrepeatable expressions. And I trust and know that the fullness of this life is right here expressing itself in ways that each and every one of us can see and touch and know and feel the depth of our soul, and know that it is joyful. Know that it is an inspired, empowered, bold, audacious expression and reflection of that which is the Most High. It doesn't need to be anything else but what it is right now. And still we are called to know a greater truth for ourselves and for everyone. And so the power, the presence, the glory, and the grace, the support system, and the resources required are already right here, right now with us. In every piece, and every part, and every particle, and every pixel. Divine something is working itself right here through each and every one of us. There is nothing and no thing separate. And so the work we do is together. The love we create is infinite, and it is eternal. And so right here and right now, I call this good and very good, and know it is the life spring of this community that rises up and shines a collective light to know that we are a sanctuary for those who are seeking the depth of their own being. I am so grateful for this power, this presence, this awareness, this truth. I'm so grateful for the purpose that drives me, motivates me, and inspires me. I'm so grateful for the hearts and minds in this space right now. the ones that are rhythming with my heart, the breath that is my breath, the love that is my love. I'm so grateful, and with ease, with joy, inspired to simply release and let go, to surrender that which no longer serves, and let it be a beacon of divine and holy expression, knowing itself right here and right now. I simply let it be so, and so it is. Yeah, we're going to do much.